Hi coin hunters, welcome back on Rare Bucks. Wait. You found quarters in your change jar, your grandma's dresser, or maybe just laying around the house, and you have absolutely no idea that some of these ordinary-looking coins could be worth anywhere from hundreds to several $1,000s. Today we are counting down 15 Washington quarter dollars that could make your jaw drop. And trust me, you are going to want to check every single one of these dates before you spend another quarter ever again. Stay with me through all 15, because the coins I have saved for the top of this list are the ones that serious collectors are hunting right now. And some of them have sold at major auction houses for numbers that will absolutely blow your mind. I am your host, and this is the video that could literally change the way you look at pocket change forever. Let us get into it. First up, coin number 15. Alright coin hunters, here we go. Starting things off with a coin that most people would toss in a vending machine without a second thought. The 1965 Washington quarter dollar with no mint mark. Now before you roll your eyes and say, oh, it is just a quarter, let me stop you right there, because there is a very important story behind this coin that most people have never heard. And it has everything to do with one of the wildest moments in American monetary history. The year is 1965. America is in the middle of a silver crisis. People are hoarding silver coins like crazy because the metal value inside them is worth more than the face value on the outside. The United States Mint is in full panic mode. Congress passes the Coinage Act of 1964, and the government makes a dramatic decision. They strip the silver out of quarters and dimes entirely and replace them with a copper-nickel-clad composition. And here is where it gets even more interesting. To stop collectors from hoarding the new coins too, the government made the decision to remove all mint marks from every coin struck between 1965 and 1967. Every single one. No P, no D, no S, nothing. So when you see a 1965 quarter with no mint mark, that is not an error. That is by law. Now a regular circulated 1965 quarter in average condition is obviously just spending money. But here is where collectors start paying serious attention. The United States Mint also struck special 1965 quarters in a format called Special Mint Set, or SEMS. These SEMS coins were struck with a special process that gives them a beautiful, almost proof-like finish, and when one of these SEMS specimens grades out at SP67 or SP68 at PCGS or NGC, the top professional grading services in the country, things get very interesting very fast. A 1965 SEMS quarter graded SP68 has sold at auction for over $500. And the absolute finest examples in SP68 cameo designation have pushed well past that into territory that makes even seasoned collectors do a double take. But here is the real twist that makes this coin a legend in error coin collecting. There exists a 1965 Washington quarter that was accidentally struck on a 90% silver planchy left over from 1964 production. This is known as a transitional error, and it is one of the most dramatic and valuable mistakes the United States Mint ever made. A genuine 1965 Washington quarter struck on a 90% silver planchy confirmed by weight, which comes in at 6.25 grams, compared to the standard clad weight of 5.67 grams, has sold for staggering amounts at major auction houses. We are talking verified examples that have crossed the auction block for figures reaching into the thousands of dollars. With top examples authenticated by PCGs commanding prices that put this quarter among the most valuable modern coinage errors in existence. So the next time someone hands you a 1965 quarter, do yourself a favor. Put it on a scale. If it weighs 6.25 grams, you might be holding something worth far more than 25 cents. And on that note, coming up next at number 14 is a coin from Denver that has some serious high-grade potential. The 1973 D Washington quarter dollar. Stick around, because this one surprises people every single time. Next up, coin number 14. The 1973 D Washington quarter dollar, struck at the Denver Mint, is a coin that the average American would walk right past on the sidewalk without bending down to pick it up. And honestly, in circulated condition, that person would not be missing much financially. But the world of numismatics, that is the fancy word for coin collecting, does not live in the world of circulated pocket change. It lives in the world of pristine, gem-quality, perfectly preserved specimens that have never seen the inside of a cash register, and that is exactly where this coin transforms into something remarkable. The Denver Mint in 1973 struck over 232 million of these quarters. 232 million. That sounds like a lot, and it is, but here is what most people do not understand about coin collecting. Mintage numbers mean almost nothing when it comes to high-grade survivors. Out of those 232 million coins, the vast majority went straight into circulation and got beat up, scratched, worn down, and eventually pulled out of the money supply. Finding a 1973 D Washington quarter that has survived in absolutely flawless, gem-brilliant uncirculated condition is genuinely difficult, and the numismatic market reflects that difficulty with serious price premiums. A 1973 D quarter in MS63 condition that is mint state 63 on the official 70-point Sheldon grading scale might sell for a few dollars, but push that grade up to MS65 and you are looking at a coin that commands real collector attention. Get to MS66 and the price climbs meaningfully. And if you somehow find yourself holding a 1973 D Washington quarter graded MS67 by PCGS or NGC, you are in rarefied air. Population reports from both major grading services show that coins at this grade level are genuinely scarce, and auction results for MS67 examples have pushed into the hundreds of dollars range, with the finest known examples capable of generating serious bidding competition at major sales. There is also the matter of die varieties and strike quality on this issue. Collectors who specialize in Washington quarters by die variety, using the system established by specialist researchers, have documented multiple die marriages for the 1973 D, and certain die combinations with strong, fully struck details on Washington's hair and the eagle's breast feathers on the reverse command premiums over generic examples at the same grade. If you have a 1973 D quarter with exceptional eye appeal, brilliant luster, and no distracting marks, get it to a grading service before you spend it. Now coming up at number 13 is a coin that flew completely under the radar for decades until collectors started paying closer attention. The 1977 Washington quarter dollar from Philadelphia. Do not go anywhere. Next up, coin number 13. The 1977 Washington quarter dollar, with no mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is one of those coins that sits in the sweet spot of numismatic interest. Common enough that collectors know it well, but rare enough in top grades that finding a perfect example is a genuine challenge that keeps specialists hunting. Philadelphia did not put its P mint mark on quarters until 1980, so if you have a 1977 quarter with no mint mark, that is your Philadelphia coin right there, produced at the oldest mint facility in the entire United States. Over 468 million of these quarters were struck in Philadelphia in 1977. Nearly 500 million coins. And yet, and this is the part that makes coin collecting so fascinating and so counterintuitive, a 1977 quarter in MS67 grade is considered legitimately scarce. The grading population data tells the story clearly. When a coin is graded MS67 by PCGS or NGC, it means the coin exhibits full original mint luster, virtually perfect surfaces, and a strike so sharp and complete that it represents the absolute top tier of what the mint was producing that year. Getting there from nearly 500 million coins sounds easy until you realize how brutally the grading standards work at that level. A 1977 Philadelphia quarter in MS67 has commanded prices at auction in the multiple hundreds of dollars, and in competitions between two collectors who both need the coin for a high-grade registry set. A competition where serious collectors try to assemble the finest known collection of a particular series, bidding can get aggressive fast. The registry set competition for Washington quarters in the modern era has driven prices on high-grade examples far beyond what casual observers would ever expect. Beyond grade, the 1977 Philadelphia issue also has documented double-die varieties that attract the attention of era coin specialists. A double-die obverse on a Washington quarter shows up as a clear doubling in the motto, the date, or Washington's portrait features when examined under magnification, and confirmed double-die examples command meaningful premiums over normal strikes at every grade level. If you have a 1977 no mint mark quarter and you have never looked at it under a loupe, you might want to start. Up next at number 12 is the 1978 Washington quarter, another Philadelphia issue that has some genuinely exciting stories attached to it. Stay right there. Next up. Coin number 12. Here comes the 1978 Washington quarter dollar from Philadelphia, and if you think this one is going to be another boring common coin story, think again, because this date has produced some of the most talked about high-grade auction results in the entire Washington quarter series for its era, and collectors who have been paying attention know exactly what I am talking about. Philadelphia struck over 521 million 1978 quarters. More than 500 million coins in a single year from a single mint. You would think that finding perfect examples would be trivial given those numbers. You would be wrong. The challenge with high-mintage Philadelphia issues from this era is that the mint was running at full production capacity, which means die quality varied, strike quality varied, and the planches going into those presses were not always receiving the kind of careful individual attention that produces gem-quality results. The result is that while MS-63, MS-64, and even MS-65 examples of the 1978 quarter are relatively accessible, anything at MS-67 or above becomes a genuine rarity that demands serious money. A 1978 Washington quarter graded MS-67 by PCGS has appeared at major auction houses with realized prices that have surprised even experienced collectors. When you get into the MS-67 plus territory, that half-point designation that PCGS uses to identify coins that clearly exceed MS-67 but fall just short of the theoretical perfection of MS-68, the population drops to nearly nothing, and the prices reflect that scarcity with stunning clarity. The 1978 issue also carries documented varieties including repunched mint-mark predecessors on other denominations from the same era, and Washington quarter specialists have cataloged specific die characteristics on the 1978 Philadelphia issue that separate premium varieties from generic examples. Combined with the high-grade registry competition that drives serious money into the top pop coin market, a pristine 1978 quarter can command prices that make people stop and stare. The countdown continues now at number 11 with a coin that has two different varieties that collectors argue about constantly. The fascinating 1979 Washington quarter dollar. Do not touch that screen. Next up, coin number 11. The 1979 Washington quarter dollar is not just one coin, it is actually two distinct collectible varieties, and that distinction matters enormously to collectors who know what they are looking at. Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of these quarters in 1979, and within that production run exists a variety difference that has created two separate entries in many collector checklists and registry sets, effectively doubling the collecting challenge and the potential value conversation around this date. The variety distinction on the 1979 quarter relates to the style of the mint mark used on proof coinage from that year. The San Francisco Mint struck proof 1979 quarters with two different mint mark punches, a filled S and a clear S, and that distinction drove major collector interest. But for the business strike Philadelphia coins, the story is about high-grade survival rates and the brutal reality of MS-67 and above populations that remain genuinely thin across all major grading services. A 1979 no mint mark Washington quarter in average circulated condition is, as you know, just spending money. But in MS66, the price conversation gets interesting. In MS67, you are looking at a coin that serious registry collectors actively hunt, and realized auction prices for graded examples at the top of the population have reached impressive levels that reflect just how few perfect survivors exist from this high mintage production run. When a coin has been struck by the hundreds of millions, and yet almost none survive in technical perfection. The ones that do become treasures. There are also double die varieties documented on the 1979 Philadelphia quarter that show clear evidence of hub doubling visible under proper magnification on the obverse lettering and design elements. A confirmed double die on a high-grade 1979 quarter puts it in a completely different value category, and error coin collectors who specialize in Washington quarter varieties know these pieces well. If you have a 1979 quarter and a good magnifying glass, it is worth 5 minutes of your time. Coming up at number 10 is a coin with variety and error potential that makes it one of the most exciting entries on our entire countdown today. The 1983 D Washington quarter dollar. This one is special. Do not move. Next up, coin number 10. We are now in the top 10, and we are starting strong with the 1983 D Washington quarter dollar from the Denver Mint, and I want you to pay very close attention here because this coin has a documented error and variety history that puts it in a completely different conversation from everything we have discussed so far. The 1983 D is not just an interesting date, it is a date that serious error coin collectors actively search for, and confirmed examples of the known varieties have sold for prices that would make your head spin. Denver struck over 617 million quarters in 1983. Enormous production. But within that enormous production run, specialists have documented double die obverse varieties on the 1983 D Washington quarter that show dramatic, unmistakable doubling on design elements visible under proper magnification. A strong double die obverse on a Washington quarter is not a subtle, is it or isn't it variety, it is a clear, dramatic mistake that the mint made during die production. And confirmed examples are genuinely rare relative to the overall mintage. A confirmed 1983 D double die obverse Washington quarter in a high circulated grade can sell for hundreds of dollars. In gem uncirculated grades, certified examples have reached into the thousands of dollars range at major auction venues, and competitive bidding between specialists who need the coin for their collections has pushed realized prices dramatically above pre-sale estimates on multiple occasions. Beyond the double die story, the 1983 D also suffers from strike quality issues that are common to Denver production from this era, meaning that fully struck, sharp, gem quality examples in MS67 are extraordinarily difficult to find. Population reports show tiny numbers of coins certified at MS67 by the major grading services, and those rare top pop examples command premiums that reflect their genuine scarcity. A 1983 D Washington quarter, graded MS67 by PCGS, has the potential to generate serious collector interest at auction, with prices that leave casual observers absolutely stunned. This coin is a hunter. If you find a 1983 D quarter in your collection, examine it carefully under magnification. Check the date, the motto, the portrait features. You might be holding one of the most valuable Washington quarters from the entire decade. Next up at number 9 is a coin from Denver that keeps collectors coming back, the 1987 D Washington quarter dollar. Stay with me. Next up, coin number 9. The 1987 D Washington quarter dollar from the Denver Mint is a coin that occupies a fascinating position in the Washington quarter series. It is common in circulated grades, relatively accessible in lower mint state grades, and then it becomes dramatically scarce as you push toward the top of the grading scale in ways that have repeatedly surprised collectors and auction observers who did not see the premiums coming. Denver produced over 655 million quarters in 1987. That is a genuinely massive mintage number, and you might reasonably assume that finding perfect survivors from such a large production run would be straightforward. The numismatic reality tells a very different story. Strike quality on 1987 D quarters varies considerably across the production run, with many examples showing weakness in the high points of Washington's portrait and the eagle's feather detail on the reverse. A fully struck, brilliantly lustrous 1987 D Washington quarter with no significant contact marks or distracting blemishes is legitimately hard to find, and the grading population data at MS67 confirms that scarcity in black and white. Collectors who focus on registry set competition for Washington quarters in the modern clad era know the 1987 D as a conditionally rare coin, meaning it is common by mintage but rare by surviving gem quality. When 2 or 3 collectors are competing for the same MS67 or MS67 Plus example at auction, the realized price can move dramatically above any reasonable retail estimate, and documented auction results for top-graded 1987 D quarters reflect exactly that competitive dynamic. The 1987 D also appears in discussions of die variety collecting among Washington quarter specialists, with certain die combinations identified as producing superior strike quality or distinctive characteristics that separate them from the generic population. Collectors who know how to identify premium die marriages on this date have an advantage in the hunt for coins that will grade at the highest levels. Right behind the 1987 D at number 8 is another Denver coin with serious high-grade appeal, the 1989 D Washington quarter dollar. Coming up right now. Next up, coin number 8. The 1989 D Washington quarter dollar is a coin that should be on every serious modern Washington quarter collector's radar, and if it is not, this is the moment you start paying attention. Denver struck this coin in significant numbers in 1989, and like so many high mintage coins from the modern clad era, the common in lower grades, rare in top grades dynamic is very much alive and very much creating real value for collectors who find pristine survivors. What makes the 1989 D particularly interesting is the documented existence of double die varieties on this date that have been cataloged by Washington quarter specialists and error coin researchers. A double die obverse on a Washington quarter shows up as visible doubling, sometimes dramatic, sometimes subtle, on design elements like the motto "In God We Trust," the date numerals, or the lettering around Washington's portrait. On the 1989 D, confirmed double die examples exist, and when you combine a verified double die variety with strong eye appeal and a high mint state grade, you have a coin that attracts both the error coin collecting community and the registry set competition crowd simultaneously. That kind of crossover appeal from 2 different collecting disciplines drives prices in ways that can be genuinely surprising. In circulated grades, the 1989 D is nothing special from a dollar value perspective. But in MS66, the conversation changes. In MS67, you are looking at a genuinely scarce coin based on certified population data. And auction results for certified MS67 examples have demonstrated that collectors will pay meaningful premiums for a coin that the grading services rarely see at that level. Add a confirmed double die designation, and the price potential moves into territory that makes this coin genuinely exciting. If you have a 1989 D quarter sitting in a collection somewhere, it deserves a closer look under magnification before you decide it is nothing special. It might be nothing special. Or it might be something remarkable. Heading into the top 7 now, with a Philadelphia coin that has generated some truly impressive auction results, the 1990 P Washington quarter dollar. Do not skip this one. Next up, coin number 7. The 1990 P Washington quarter dollar from the Philadelphia Mint is a coin that has earned serious respect in numismatic circles. And the reason comes down to one word that every coin collector knows and fears: scarcity. Not mintage scarcity, because Philadelphia struck hundreds of millions of these in 1990. But conditional scarcity, the specific, documented rarity of finding this coin in the highest possible grades, and the dramatic auction results that conditional scarcity produces when competitive collectors go head-to-head at major sales. The 1990 P. Washington quarter in MS-67 is a coin that the grading services see rarely. The certified population of MS-67 examples across both PCGs and NGC is small enough that each individual coin at that grade matters to registry set collectors who are trying to assemble the finest known collection of modern Washington quarters. When the population is small and the demand comes from serious, well-funded collectors, prices move. Documented auction results for 1990 P quarters in MS-67 have reached into the hundreds of dollars. And the finest examples, those that crack through MS-67 into MS-67 plus territory, have generated excitement and competitive bidding that pushed realized prices well beyond pre-sale estimates. There is also die variety interest on the 1990 P, with specialists examining production from this year for evidence of double dies, repunched elements, and other collectible die characteristics that add premium value to already scarce top-grade examples. A confirmed die variety on a coin that is already difficult to find in gem condition creates a collecting opportunity that does not come along every day, and experienced collectors know to act when they do. The Philadelphia Mint has a long and proud history as America's first and oldest mint facility, and the coins it produces carry a certain prestige among collectors who appreciate that history. A gem 1990 P. Washington quarter in certified MS-67 is a worthy representative of that legacy, and a potentially very valuable one. Counting down to number 6 now with a Denver coin that quietly commands serious collector attention, the 1993 D. Washington quarter dollar. Next up, coin number 6. The 1993 D. Washington quarter dollar from the Denver Mint is one of those coins that experienced collectors describe as a sleeper, a coin that has not received the mainstream attention it deserves given its documented scarcity in top grades and the auction results that have quietly confirmed significant value for pristine certified examples. If you have been sleeping on the 1993 D, consider this your wake-up call. Denver produced over 645 million quarters in 1993. Massive production, as has been the pattern with modern clad coinage throughout the late 20th century. And as has also been the consistent pattern, the high-grade survivor population for this enormous mintage is shockingly thin when you look at the actual certified population reports from PCGs and NGC. Getting a 1993 D. Washington quarter to MS-67 requires a coin that has escaped every form of contact damage, die fatigue, strike weakness, and environmental deterioration that affects the overwhelming majority of coins from this production run. The coins that make it are rare. Genuinely rare. And rare means valuable when collectors want them. Auction results for 1993 D. Washington quarters in MS-67 have shown prices that surprise people who assumed this was just another common modern quarter. Competitive bidding between registry set collectors has pushed realized prices on top-graded examples into meaningful premium territory, and a coin certified at MS-67 Plus by PCGs becomes the kind of trophy piece that a serious collector will spend significant money to acquire. Die variety interest on the 1993 D adds another layer of potential value for collectors who examine their coins carefully. Double die varieties and strong die characteristic pieces from this date have been documented by Washington quarter specialists, and confirmed examples carry premiums that reflect both their rarity and the difficulty of finding them. We are heading into the top 5 now, and every coin from here to number 1 has a story that gets more impressive as we count down. Up next, number 5 is the 1994 P. Washington quarter dollar, a Philadelphia coin with top-grade auction results that will genuinely surprise you. Next up, coin number 5, top 5. We are in the elite tier of this countdown now, and the 1994 P Washington quarter dollar from the Philadelphia Mint earns its place here with a combination of conditional rarity, documented auction performance, and the kind of collecting interest that keeps prices moving upward over time as more collectors discover just how scarce this coin is in true gem condition. Philadelphia struck this quarter by the hundreds of millions in 1994, and the coin went into circulation by the truckload, where the vast majority of examples suffered the fate of all circulating coinage, contact marks, wear, reduced luster, and the slow degradation that makes high-grade survivors genuinely precious. What came out of that enormous production run in pristine, never circulated, gem-quality condition represents a very small fraction of total mintage, and the certified population of MS-67 examples confirms that fractions are genuinely small. A 1994 P Washington quarter graded MS-67 by PCGS or NGC is a coin that registry set collectors actively seek, and the realized prices at auction for certified examples at this grade level have repeatedly demonstrated that serious money follows serious scarcity. Documented auction results have pushed into the hundreds of dollars for MS-67 examples, and the finest known specimens, those rare coins that grade at MS-67+, or the theoretical pinnacle of MS-68, have the potential to generate bidding competition that drives prices into territory that makes even experienced numismatists sit up and take notice. For collectors who focus on varieties, the 1994 P also has documented die characteristics that specialists use to identify premium examples within the series. Strong, fully struck examples with exceptional luster and perfect eye appeal represent the top of what Philadelphia was producing in 1994, and those coins are worth finding, worth submitting for grading, and worth holding on to. Number 4 is coming up, and it is a coin that has one of the most exciting documented error histories in the entire modern Washington quarter series, the 1995 P Washington quarter dollar with its famous double die. Do not go anywhere. Next up, coin number 4. Number 4 on our countdown is the 1995 P Washington quarter dollar, and I want to be very direct with you right now. This coin has a documented double die obverse variety that is one of the most significant and sought-after errors in the entire modern Washington quarter series. And confirmed examples of this variety have sold for prices that put this in a completely different category from anything else we have discussed today. This is not hype. This is documented numismatic fact, and it is extraordinary. The 1995 P double die obverse Washington quarter shows clear, unmistakable doubling on the obverse design elements that is visible under proper magnification and in some strong examples even discernible with a careful naked eye examination. The doubling appears on the motto "In God We Trust," on the date, and on other obverse lettering, in a way that leaves no doubt about the classification when a genuine example is examined by a qualified specialist. The United States Mint produced this error because a working die was impressed twice by the hub at slightly different angles or in slightly shifted positions during the die-making process, and the resulting die then transferred that doubled image onto every coin it struck before the error was caught or the die retired. Confirmed, authenticated 1995 P double die obverse Washington quarters, certified by PCGS or NGC, have appeared at major auction houses and sold for prices reaching into the thousands of dollars depending on grade and the strength of the doubling. A strong example in MS-65 or above with confirmed double die designation is a coin that error specialists, variety collectors, and registry set collectors all want simultaneously. And when 3 different collector communities compete for the same rare coin, the price reflects that multifaceted demand with dramatic results. Examples of this variety have realized prices well above $1,000 at auction, with the finest known examples capable of pushing significantly higher when the right collectors are in the room or bidding online. If you have a 1995 P Washington quarter and you have never examined it under a loupe, this is the moment. Check the motto. Check the date. Check the portrait. You could be holding one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence, and right now it might be sitting in a coin jar on your dresser doing absolutely nothing. The countdown is almost at its peak. Number 3 coming right now, and it is a coin that has quietly built one of the strongest high-grade reputations in the series, the 1996 P. Washington Quarter Dollar. Next up, coin number 3. The 1996 P. Washington Quarter Dollar from the Philadelphia Mint sits at number 3 on this countdown, and its position here is earned by a combination of documented high-grade scarcity, strong auction performance, and the continuing collector interest in a coin that has proven far more difficult to find in pristine condition than its mintage numbers would ever suggest. Philadelphia struck enormous quantities of quarters in 1996. Enormous, and the coin circulated widely, meaning the survival rate of high-grade uncirculated examples is proportionally very low compared to the total production figures. But the story of the 1996 P goes beyond simple high-grade scarcity. It is also a coin that has attracted documented variety interest from specialists who have identified die characteristics and collectible error, varieties within the production run that separate premium examples from the generic population. A 1996 P. Washington Quarter in MS67 is a genuinely difficult coin to find. The certified population at PCGS and NGC reflects that difficulty clearly. And the auction results for MS67 examples have shown that registry set collectors take this date seriously and will pay premium prices when a top-graded example comes to market. Realized prices for certified MS67 examples have reached meaningful levels, and the finest known examples, those rare MS67 Plus coins that represent absolute perfection from this issue, carry price potential that commands respect in any numismatic conversation. The collecting community that focuses on modern Washington quarters as a series has identified the 1996 P as one of the dates where conditional rarity and variety interest combine to create sustained collector demand over time. That sustained demand is what builds long-term value, and the 1996 P has demonstrated exactly that pattern in auction results over multiple years and multiple major sales. Number 2 is right here, and it is a Denver coin that has produced jaw-dropping auction results for top-grade examples, the 1997 D. Washington Quarter Dollar. I have been waiting to tell you this one all video. Next up, coin number 2. Number 2 on the entire countdown, and it belongs to the 1997 D. Washington Quarter Dollar from the Denver Mint, a coin that has surprised collectors, stunned casual observers, and generated auction results that nobody who has not been following this series closely would ever predict for a coin that spent in pocket change at face value for 25 cents. Here is the reality of the 1997 D. Denver struck over 599 million of these quarters in 1997. Hundreds of millions of coins. And yet the certified population of 1997 D. Washington quarters at MS67 by PCGs or NGC is small enough that individual coins at this grade matter enormously in the registry set competition for the finest known collection of modern Washington quarters. The math is brutal and beautiful at the same time. Hundreds of millions struck, almost none surviving in perfect gem condition, and serious collectors competing for the tiny handful that did survive perfectly. The 1997 D. Washington Quarter in MS67 has realized auction prices that have reached into the hundreds of dollars at major numismatic sales, with documented results showing strong bidding interest from multiple collectors each time a certified example appears at auction. When a coin shows up repeatedly at auction with competitive bidding driving prices higher, that is the market telling you clearly that genuine scarcity is at work. The 1997 D in top grade is that coin. Beyond grade, the 1997 D has been examined by Washington quarter specialists for die variety characteristics, and certain production dies from the 1997 Denver coinage have been identified as producing superior quality strikes with stronger detail in Washington's portrait and the eagle reverse. Knowing which die characteristics to look for when hunting for the finest possible 1997D examples is the kind of specialist knowledge that separates casual collectors from serious numismatists, and it is the kind of knowledge that can translate directly into dollars when a premium example is submitted for grading. This coin is remarkable. It belongs at number 2. And the coin at number 1? It has everything: mintage scarcity in high grades, documented error variety potential, strong auction performance, and collector demand that has shown no signs of slowing down. This is the coin that tops the entire countdown. Next up, the most valuable, the most exciting. Coin number 1. Number 1. The top of the entire countdown. The 1998 P. Washington quarter dollar from the Philadelphia Mint. And I am putting this coin at the absolute peak of today's list for reasons that go well beyond the typical high-grade scarcity story, though that story is very much present here and very much impressive on its own terms. The 1998 P. Washington quarter was struck by Philadelphia during the final years of the classic reverse design before the state quarters program transformed American coinage beginning in 1999. That transitional significance gives the 1998 P a historical importance that collectors have recognized and that has contributed to ongoing interest in assembling complete, high-grade sets of the classic Washington quarter design. When a coin has historical significance layered on top of conditional rarity, the result is sustained collector demand that translates into real auction value over time. In terms of high-grade survival, the 1998 P. Washington quarter follows the same brutal pattern as every other high-mintage modern-clad issue. Hundreds of millions struck, a tiny fraction surviving in gem condition, and an even tinier fraction reaching MS67 or above in certified grading. The population of MS67 examples at PCGS and NGC is genuinely thin, and each time a certified example appears at auction, it attracts attention from multiple collecting disciplines. Registry set collectors want it. Type collectors want it. Transitional era specialists want it. That multi-community demand drives prices in ways that purely catalog value estimates often fail to capture. Documented auction results for 1998 P. Washington quarters in MS67 have reached into the hundreds of dollars, and the finest known examples have the potential to generate the kind of competitive bidding that pushes realized prices well beyond estimates when motivated collectors are involved. A coin graded MS67 Plus by PCGs from the final year of the classic Washington quarter reverse design is a numismatic trophy, the exclamation point at the end of a legendary American coinage series, preserved in perfect condition after nearly half a century of production. The 1998 P also carries documented variety potential for collectors willing to examine their examples carefully under magnification. Die characteristics unique to specific 1998 Philadelphia production dies have been noted by specialists, and error coin hunters have examined this date for double die evidence and other collectible varieties that would add a premium designation to an already premium coin. If you have a 1998 P quarter in your collection and you have never had it certified, it deserves a second look. This is the number 1 coin on today's countdown. The 1998 P. Washington quarter dollar. Historically significant, conditionally rare, auction-proven and worthy of the top position on any list of modern Washington quarters that serious collectors should know about. Final thoughts. And that is the complete countdown: 15 Washington quarter dollars from the transitional 1965 no-mint mark SM's coin all the way through the high-grade trophy that is the 1998 P. And every single one of them has a story worth knowing before you spend another quarter without looking at the date. The coins you checked past in your change jar. The rolls you bought at the bank without opening. The jars of old coins sitting in garages and storage units across this country. Any one of them could contain a coin from this list in a grade that makes it worth far more than 25 cents. That is the magic, and the madness of coin collecting, and it never gets old. If you checked your own quarters while watching this video, I want to know in the comments, what date did you find and what condition is it in? Drop it below right now, because this community loves talking about real finds, and you never know who might have information that changes what you think your coin is worth. Disclaimer: if this video gave you something valuable today, and I genuinely believe it did, hit that subscribe button right now. We cover coins like this every single week. We talk about errors, varieties, auction results, grading secrets, and the stories behind the coins that most people walk right past every single day. You are not most people. You are here, you are paying attention, and that means you are already ahead of 99% of the people out there spending valuable coins without a second thought. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.